In this video, me and my guest Catherine are going to be talking about caffeine, its effects, the benefits it has, how to manage the caffeine high, and a variety of other topics. Welcome to SGS Insights, where I create a variety of videos. We've got vlogs, we've got a talk show, we've got self-growth videos. Which one of my videos do you think you're about to watch? We both include caffeine in our lives. When you drink caffeine, how does it kind of help your life in a sense?
It definitely helps me get more motivated, focused, and concentrated on what I'm working on. Really enjoy the flavor, but I also feel like it helps me in my workouts and studying and just everything in my day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense because when we drink caffeine, it kind of stimulates the nervous system in a positive way. But then sometimes when we drink too much caffeine, it kind of has an inverse relationship.
Absolutely.
Where it's hard to focus, anxiety, and a lot of other factors.
Yeah, I find that if I have too much caffeine, I definitely get very anxious and fidgety, and then I'm not as productive as I was.
I know what you mean, and then from my reading, I find that the best way to kind of manage that caffeine high is perhaps to do a small meditation, some breathing exercises, maybe do a quick exercise.
Yeah.
There is some supplements that you can take, but if you're going to be drinking caffeine like crazy, I'm not sure if it's that good for your health because the research has shown that we should be drinking probably around 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, and if we overdo it, there can be so many bad consequences.
I definitely have to monitor my caffeine intake. I definitely think my maximum that I'm comfortable taking is 300 milligrams a day. I'll usually split that between 1 to 3 cups of coffee or 1 cup of coffee and an energy drink. But definitely have to be careful about that because if I drink too much, I get very anxious, my heart rate skyrockets,
And with caffeine too, if there's people that have high blood pressure, it can affect that, but then for normal individuals, it might affect it for a bit, but then it goes away. That's the thing with caffeine, it just affects so many parts of our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your experience with drinking coffee? Do you like to drink coffee and have caffeine in your day-to-day?
100%. So when I drink caffeine, I have it every other day because my body cannot build a tolerance if it's spread out like that. It's the best system that works for me. And I find that if you're going to be drinking caffeine, so there's 2 things to keep in mind. If you're going to use it to help you focus and do schoolwork, perfect. You almost have to kind of plan when you drink the caffeine.
Yeah.
But if you're going to drink it for the health benefits, having a great heart, lowering cortisol, then you can drink it maybe 3 to 4 cups a day and you'll get those benefits. So it depends what kind of benefits you're looking for. With me, I want it for more focus and everything like that.
Okay.
So I drink it for that.
Nice. I feel like I typically wake up, have a cup of coffee just to start the day, and then later in the day, either after a workout or before studying, I'll have a second cup or third. Yeah.
I see. That's great. With working out, so the research shows that when people drink caffeine before working out, it can help them kind of focus more and lock in, and it'll make them perform good, but not at a level that they're not used to.
Absolutely. I find that if I don't have my morning cup of coffee, I'll feel very sluggish and heavy during my workout, versus if I do have that cup of coffee, I'll feel very energized and focused and motivated to get the workout done, and it'll go a lot more smooth.
That's awesome. So do you mostly just drink black coffee and energy drinks, or have you used the supplement too?
I haven't used caffeine supplements. I typically have black coffee with a splash of half and half, or I'll drink a Celsius or an Alani Nu. But those are typically only around 200 milligrams of caffeine. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So my caffeine, I'm only drinking a cup a day, and I still get that initial high, and that's because again I kind of space everything out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, so the supplements, they are an alternative to caffeine. But when you take those supplements or creatine and stuff like that, the thing is, those things can dehydrate you. But when you drink black coffee, energy drinks, those, because there's actually water liquid in those things, you're not going to get dehydrated, because a lot of people, they think caffeine is going to dehydrate you. I guess it depends what form you're taking in a sense.
Absolutely, yeah. The supplements, they have a crazy amount of caffeine. It just seems scary, 400, 500 milligrams. That's too much. I do know with coffee, there's a common or there's this idea that it's supposed it may dehydrate you, but it really just causes you to pee more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has a diuretic effect.
Yeah.
But it's not a fully diuretic, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because the National Institute of Medicine says caffeine can be a contributor to your daily intake of fluids.
Absolutely, yeah, especially since you brew it with water.
I agree. So caffeine, I think we kind of nailed a lot of the pros and cons, honestly. I mean, the brain, like it can, Alzheimer's. So when we drink coffee, it can lower chances of getting Alzheimer's, heart attacks. It can lower cortisol too. But then with coffee, the ground coffee, we have to make sure we're filtering it because if we don't, it can have an inverse relationship where it can increase our cholesterol levels.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never really like thought or researched a lot about like the brewing of coffee.
Yeah, it's incredible. So when people like buy those, you know, those small cups, and
like the K-cups? Okay.
Yeah, like they don't really have a filter per se, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I guess people have to be cautious.
That is true. Yeah, how do you brew your coffee?
So right now, it's a pre-made filter, and I
Okay.
put the grounds of coffee in that, and so it's kind of its own little filter.
That's awesome.
And so because the filter is very small, I will press the smallest cup on my machine, and then I'll fill it like 3 times because I want the coffee as strong as possible.
Yeah.
Because I do want that caffeine high. You know?
Absolutely. Nice. Do you find that there's a better time of the day for you to drink your coffee?
Oh, for sure. So usually I find it's best to do it after my workouts.
Okay.
Because after my workouts, it gets my mind going and I can focus on my schoolwork, get a lot done. If I drink it later on in the day, it's weird. I don't feel that high per se or that euphoric effect because it's weird. It's at the end of the day and I'm about to go to bed. So like it's just not really appropriate, you know?
Absolutely, I definitely agree. I feel like there's like a couple different prime times of like when I have my cups of coffee, like before like 10 a.m. and then between like 1 and 3 p.m. I feel like those are some good times.
That's great. That's great that you kind of have your own system. Like you really plan it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Helps me stay productive.
That's good. Because some people, if they drink caffeine maybe past a certain time, it's going to affect their sleep insomnia.
Absolutely.
And other stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one thing caffeine does too, it can, so irregular heartbeat. If you're drinking past the 400 milligram requirement, irregular heartbeat, it can affect the way you digest a lot of foods, diarrhea.
Interesting.
But then again, if people are having a hard time digesting food, if they drink caffeine, it can help them kind of process the food better in the system because it opens the track that the food can kind of go through.
Interesting. Oh, I also have heard that if you drink too much coffee or have too much caffeine, you get like really bad like heartburn and everything. So that makes sense.
For sure. Like caffeine, like it's a great drug, but at the same time, we almost have to be cautious.
Yeah, everything in moderation. Definitely better to be like educated on the topic.
Exactly, 100%. Wow, well, Catherine, thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
We discussed a variety of things about caffeine that I'm sure the audience will utilize.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me.
For sure. This is the end of the video. I hope you guys found a lot of value from it. Catherine was a great guest. She was able to share a lot of insights with you. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.